So, just a quick little video today. The custard that I made 2 weeks ago for a previous video has gone uneaten. As you can see, there's not really any mold on it, and I did try it and it tastes all right. So, for it to get eaten and for it not to spoil, I have to do something with it. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Now, the two ideas I had regarding doing something with it were either baking it into something or freezing it. As far as baking it into something goes, I don't know of any baked goods that use custard as a main ingredient. I haven't really heard of that. And except maybe as a filling. And also my brother works at a bakery, so having more baked goods around the house would be tedious. So we are making frozen custard then. Now, all the frozen custard recipes I found online for the most part did call for an ice cream maker, which I do not have. So I did a little bit of digging and I did finally find a recipe that didn't call for that. That recipe is linked below. Now, we're not really using the recipe as much as we're using the technique that they used, which is freezing most of the ingredients in ice cube trays first. And then once that's frozen, you take it out and you grind it in a food processor with more cream. And I guess that's supposed to work kind of like an ice cream maker. So, yeah, we're going to try that. Now, I'm trying kind of a quick and easy method here, where instead of like getting actual recipe ingredients and all that stuff together, I've taken this ice cream, melted it down. We're gonna whip this up into a whipped cream sort of thing, hopefully. We'll see how that goes, and we're gonna combine it with this, and like I said, freeze it all together. Holy shit, I wasn't aiming there. So it looks like we're pretty combined together. It's kind of hard to tell since the ice cream started out with like cheesecake chunks in it, so it's not entirely smooth. But you know, I mean, ice cream's allowed to have chunks in it, so whatever. Anyway, now we are going to put it into the ice cube tray and freeze it. So it turns out that an ice cube tray doesn't exist in this house, so this is the best idea I can come up with, and everything else in this recipe has been wildly improvised, so might as well. So the cups are frozen now. Now we just got to blend them in the food processor like I was saying before. However, I do want to try them on their own to see what they are like. Cool. I was worried the muffin tins would stick and they did not. So that's good too. So, in all honesty, this is pretty fine on its own. Maybe this wasn't the best ice cream to use with it. Like, it's an improvement, but I don't know. But you know what? We're gonna do something to see if we can make it better, and we're still gonna do the food processor thing as well. So, in tasting the little ice cream cups we had there, it was a little bit overly sweet, that sort of thing. So I'm gonna try adding in some strawberries. I also got a teaspoon of sugar and a teaspoon of lemon juice. Kind of make a nice syrup slash swirl out of them. And hopefully that'll kind of be good with them. I'm also going to add some cornstarch maybe if it's not thick enough, but we'll see what happens. You know, I think this needs more liquid maybe. So I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of water just because. So just in general, it's not a lot. I mean, granted, I only used like 1/3 of a quart of strawberries, so, well, there you go. So we just have some berry juice in the fridge. I'm gonna try adding a 1/4 cup of that to see how that goes. So that ended up being more like a third cup of juice instead of a quarter cup like I was saying. But I mean, I think we just kind of need more stuff, and I figured, why not? But let's see if it's too sweet now. Yeah, there we go. Nope, that lemon juice still does come through. But I think to get this a little thicker, we're going to need some cornstarch. Okay, so we're just going to go a teaspoon at a time and see what happens. You know, I absolutely know you're supposed to make a slurry first, you know, mix it with water and then put it into the thing. But I thought you only had to do that with flour because I don't know why I thought that. So now we have cornstarch chunks in here, which is great. I really wanted to have, you know, the whole berries in the ice cream as well, but I've ruined that because I'm going to have to strain it now. It's fantastic. You know, I was going for tart, but it needs more sugar. I'm going to do a teaspoon of corn syrup now instead of sugar, because why not? Might as well have a little variety. Variety's the spice of life, you know. Okay, so it's still pretty tart, which is what we wanted because the ice cream's pretty sweet, but yeah, it's good enough. I mean, looking at it, like I said, we're gonna filter that since I screwed up. But yeah, I guess to go through kind of the quote-unquote recipe, I frankly winged. It was 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of corn syrup, and then let's just say put like 3 teaspoons of corn syrup in cold water to make a slurry, and just eyeball it. Oh, and 2 teaspoons of water and a quarter cup of berry juice, which, just do a quarter cup of berry juice. I don't think you need the water. It is time to wash away the sin. Nice and clean. Nice and clean. Nice and clean. So we have our little frozen cups into the food processor, and then the recipe does call to put whipping cream in as well. Now, in case you haven't noticed, I'm not really concerning myself with ratios. I'm just kind of doing it. So we have about a quarter of a pint here, and yeah. We'll see how this turns out. And now it is time to grind. Okay, well, it certainly looks kind of soft-servy. Let's go ahead and... I mean, yeah, it kind of tastes like what we had, but creamier. So we have it all in a container here to be refrozen and finished off. But let's go ahead and put our syrup in. Kind of want to make this a bit of like a swirl, if you will, which means I probably should have split up the batter, I guess, the ice cream batter, whatever. Ice cream mix. Batter? Mix. You know what I mean. I probably should have split that up into 2 so there was more layers, but I don't think ahead very often. But anyway, we got a long boy stirring stick, I suppose, or swirling stick, I guess is a better way to put it. And let's just hope that it kind of gets it deeper in. And all of that good stuff. Well, I mean, it looks cool. maybe we had enough, but then again, I don't really see it getting down into the mixture, but, well, that's too late now, so we're just gonna go ahead and freeze this again. So, it's refrozen. I'm also filming at a different time of day I usually do, so there's sunlight. Ooh. Anyway, let's scoop it out and see what we got here. So, didn't scoop that easily, so that doesn't bode well, but oh well. And looking in here, that swirl actually, I mean, obviously didn't go all the way down, but some of it went a little deeper than I thought it would, so that's nice. But now we have to try it and see how everything went. All right. Let's get a nice chunk that has a little bit of swirl in it. Okay, so having tried it, the swirl definitely got a little bit icy, which isn't great, and also not surprising thinking about it now. But the ice cream part did come out pretty ice creamy. I mean, it's a little dense, but still pretty recognizable as ice cream, or I mean frozen custard in this situation. So I think if I were to do something similar to this again, I would probably just follow the recipe link below instead of doing this weird mixing with already made ice cream. That kind of was odd, although it did work. Like I said, it is still pretty, you know, creamy ice cream texture, that sort of thing, except for the part with the swirl. And two, I'd either learn how to actually make an ice cream berry swirl thing instead of just winging it, or what I made would be probably better as a topping. So if you wouldn't mind giving me some of your engagement by either commenting or hitting one of the buttons below, I would very much appreciate it. I mean, or not. I mean, you live your life how you want to live your life, but regardless of what you do, thank you very much for watching the video, and hopefully you'll see fit to watch what I have in the future.